Hello, everyone. My guest today is Rob Pierre. He's the co-founder and CEO of Jellyfish, a digital partner to some of the world's leading brands, including Uber, eBay, Spotify, Ford, and ASOS. Since its inception in 2005, Rob has grown Jellyfish to over 700 employees working across 25 offices in Europe, US, and South Africa. So first of all, Rob, it's a pleasure to welcome you on the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's great to have you, man. So you're just calling in from Paris, you just said. So give a little bit background on you and basically how you got to where you are today.
Wow. So if we go back to the beginning, I thought I was going to be doing a computer studies degree sponsored by IBM. Unfortunately, I didn't quite get the required grade in physics in my A-levels. Ended up working in retail. And that's pretty much where I learned my craft. So I worked for Sunglass Hut for 7 years and ended up heading up the European division. And along that journey, learned about P&Ls, inventory, recruitment, motivating teams, sales, you name it. And from that point, I worked for an entrepreneur for 3 years. And then I started talking to a friend of mine that I kept bumping into in weddings and bachelor parties. And we started talking about his IT consultancy business that he had in a small town called Reigate in Surrey in the UK. And he was very passionate about the birth of digital marketing, and he felt it was a huge opportunity. So we chatted for a while, and after a few of these weddings and bachelor parties, I committed and said, okay, I'm going to quit my job and come and join you, and we'll create a digital marketing agency. And we concentrated on paid search and the publishing sector and did it on a performance model. And that was pretty much the birth of Jellyfish in 2005.
Got it. That sounds super interesting. So just for all the listeners to understand a little bit better, what does Jellyfish now exactly do, and basically how do you make money?
So we are a digital partner, as you said in the intro. And what we do is we ensure that brands who are looking to own their data, to be able to leverage that data and put the right message to the right person at the right time, we help brands with all the technology infrastructure, the analytics, the insight, media buying, training, data management. It could be creative, dynamic creative, you name it. So anything. So we help brands who
basically
want to work.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, so anywhere from completely in-housing their digital requirements to fully outsourcing, we can work anywhere on that spectrum.
Got it. So basically a full-service digital agency.
Pretty much. And the only reason why we avoid the word agency is because agency is full of agents, and agents do things on behalf of someone. And we really believe that we work in collaboration and we partner. And agencies come with the legacy connotations around, for example, creative and media buying and opaque business models. And we don't really want to be associated with just the services that you expect from an agency, because our training and technology and consultancy are just as important. So we're going more for the digital, full service digital partner is how we like to present ourselves.
Full service digital partner, you name it. That's amazing. I love that. So, I mean, now Jellyfish is a pretty big company and it achieved a lot in the past 15 years. So once you started out with your business partner, what were some of the best resources that have helped you along the way?
I think because I like to digest information in bite-sized chunks, my attention span often doesn't allow me to read books. So I think Blinkist. Do you know the app Blinkist?
Yes. Yeah, sure.
That is an amazing tool for me. And so, all those nonfiction books, and in 15 minutes, either audio or text, I can digest a whole load of different points of view, and I use that and I put it all in the melting pot. Because I think one of our strengths as Jellyfish is that we don't necessarily feel that there needs to be a framework or white paper on how we do things. We're very much problem solvers, and we're willing to of course, in an informed way, take a lot of different opinions and different outlooks, but ultimately we are problem solvers and we create a solution for every single one of our challenges. So I find being able to absorb as much a diverse point of view in a short period of time works really well for me.
What's your favorite business
probably
book?
One other thing is Patrick Lencioni's book, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. Our success is 100% down to our team. And we've got a global leadership team of 15 people. And in all the years we've been working, one had to leave for health reasons, but other than that, no one's ever left. And we actually really maximize the superpowers of each of us. And most importantly, we ensure that we adhere to all the things that Patrick spoke about in 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. So we ensure that we don't have a situation where there's an absence of trust, that we don't want a fear of conflict, we don't want to avoid accountability, we don't want to lack any commitment, and we don't want any inattention to results. And that's
what's the book called again?
The 5 Dysfunctions. 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni.
Got it. Just writing that down.
It's really good.
Got it. Okay, so I guess one resource then for you is, or was, or still is, basically books and kind of like written knowledge. So what is another resource that has helped you?
I think it's the people, because we're changing our company structure so everybody has support networks. We don't have the traditional hierarchy system where you have line managers and you're expected to get all of your KPIs and your guidance and direction and training from one individual as your line manager. We say that everybody owns their own careers. And so, by that I mean, how to master your craft. You have to take responsibility for getting all the requisite skills and to actually talk to people to enhance your performance and use any resources available. And in my opinion, the 15 people on our global leadership team, they're my support network. And actually, they're the ones that I leverage the most. They're all got specialities in different areas. And as and when I need their knowledge, experience, and guidance, I go to them. So I don't really see myself as like a pyramid and I'm the top of a pyramid. I actually think it's the opposite. They're all my support network, and I couldn't do my job on a day-to-day basis without them. So I'm going to say our team.
Yeah. So it's basically not they working for you, but you working for them.
Pretty much. Yeah. I've got to represent them. I've got to make sure that from a strategic standpoint, our company represents all of our capabilities and they all work cohesively to deliver the ultimate product or solution for our clients. And that means I've got to represent them and I've got to make sure that their capabilities are in our strategy in the right way and that we're delivering for our clients. So yeah, I very much see it that way.
Got it. So do you think there was a unique skill that has helped you to become successful?
Skill. I mean, I'm not sure about a skill because I think skills could be learned and I think skills can be enhanced. I'm going to go with core traits, I think, that have led me to maybe develop the right skills. But I think the core trait is definitely positivity. And I'm always questioning. And like I said earlier, I'm never scared to adopt a unique solution to things. So I think I'm always, every single time there's a challenge, I see it as an opportunity. I'm feeling very positive about how we can overcome that. And I'm willing to be creative and innovative in the solution that we come up with. And I think that trait has gone a long way. I think that's also that positivity has led me to be able to galvanize people behind a vision. If you can articulate a vision and passionately and positively get people behind it, I think that is one of the most successful factors in any organization, especially as you start to scale. And maybe those are the things that have been.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I just want to say I love that.
That's it. I think that is pretty much what I think has been one of the major success factors.
Yeah, no, and I think it's actually a great point that people don't value that often. Because I always hear, if I ask people that question, I always hear just, be a good leader and be good at sales or like things like that, but be positive. No one said that to me. So I think that's a really good point.
Oh, great.
Where do you see the whole digital media industry go in the next 5 years and then in the next 30 years?
Well, I see it. I mean, I think obviously above the line, addressable television and billboards, etc. I think that is going to become more addressable, bought in a programmatic way. So I think understanding and owning your data and being able to create your audience segments and providing dynamic, relatable, and relevant content is extremely important. I think that we're seeing it already, whereas the hold that the big networks had due to scale is no longer there. The minute you're willing to buy media programmatically, and in other words, you're willing to auction and pay more for the individual that you want at the right time with the right ad format, that negates the hold that a network would have due to the scale and the buying power. So I think we're seeing a big shift in that sense. We've gone a long way. I think we're going round in circles, to be honest. At one point, the industry was saying it's all about knowing the behavior of an individual and delivering the right message. But then, of course, we're seeing that a lot of the third-party data are not being provided anymore. And there's a lot of emphasis on personal data and the ability to use the behavior of individuals. So it's becoming more down to first-party data. It's down to possibly slightly broader targeting. So I'm not really sure. It's interesting to see. I think at one point it looked like it had to be a one-to-one relationship with each one of your customers, but now I think it's going back to it's more about your positioning, brand awareness, and making sure that you can actually give a wider message to a wider audience. So I think it's in flux is the answer to your question. It all depends on how far we go with personal identifiable information and third-party cookie data. That's going to dictate where it goes.
Yeah, no, that's a really good answer, actually. I love that. It's a really good point. So let's dive into the Fantastic Four. Question number one, is there a CEO that you're following or studying right now?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know. I would be able to answer that question off the bat if I was.
Got it. No, that's okay. That's okay.
That might stem from my appetite to come up with innovative and unique scenarios and how much I value the input of all the team around me. And I think I'm maybe trying to create my own path. So yeah, I'm not actually following. That's not from an arrogant standpoint. It's just I haven't got anybody right now that's really caught my attention that I'm following on a day-to-day basis.
Got it. Do you have any routines that you strictly follow on a daily basis?
Ooh. Well, I brush my teeth every day. Does that count?
Well, that's a routine.
No. Yeah, that's a routine. No. And actually, we're going through that right now, where I'm not one of those either CEOs or entrepreneurs that says, I get up at 5 o'clock and I exercise at a certain time and I eat in a certain way. And no, I'm not one of those. Actually, I spend my entire life adapting and reprioritizing in real time. So it's impossible to have routines if you're catering for what is such a fast-moving world. And not only is the digital industry so fast-moving, it's also our company. At the rate that we're growing, the new people, the new challenges. I'm not really a fan of routines, if I'm honest. And I say to all my team, also allow me to make current decisions at every point. I'd much rather just keep moving and keep pivoting slightly as and when you get more information or experience. And you can actually make a full 180 turn with multiple pivots and no one really notices. So it's one of those things that I would rather stay fluid and agile and be able to adapt to all of the conditions of the marketplace and the company, which
Got it.
Negates routines, really.
How often do you do sports every week?
Not a lot at the moment. So literally only like a month ago, because of travel, I've had a personal trainer that comes and sees me. But again, because of my travel, it's never really a routine. But I try and do that twice a week. I play golf, but again, in the winter months, I don't play a lot of golf.
Nice. We should go and play at some point.
Oh, that's great. I would love to.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, no, so I get that. Oh man, I used to play it when I was a kid. So I played, all the time, did like what do you call, like tourneys and all of that, and then I stopped for like 8 years, and then I just started like this spring, so I'm just getting into it again.
Okay, right. Well, yeah, we should get a game in for sure.
Sounds good. So last two questions. First one is, what's your favorite social media platform for business, and what do you use it for?
For business, 100% LinkedIn. And that might also be inadvertently because I think I've hit around 10,000 followers now, or connections, I should say, not followers. And that has sort of led to more exposure, and it sort of draws you in, because once you've got that many connections, that there's much more activity that happens on the platform. But also I tend to find that the content is very business oriented, and which I like. Yeah. And I think after that, I like YouTube, because a lot of the how-to videos, and when I'm looking for solutions, I very much use YouTube for my research. And of course, I digest video content. That's my favorite way to digest content. So I would say those two platforms.
Got it. Last question, Rob. What do you wish you would have started when you were 20 years old?
What do I wish I had started when I was 20? That's a great question. I'm going to have to give me a second to think about that.
That's okay, man.
I think it's going to have to be, well, I don't know about when I was 20, but I wish I'd started what we're doing today a little bit earlier. That's one thing. But of course, we started Jellyfish near on the birth of Google and digital marketing in the first place. That's a great question.
Basically, you would have wished to get earlier into basically the whole media world and started Jellyfish earlier?
I think so. Yeah, I think that I value everything I did before, but I feel like we could have made even more traction. We could have had more traction and moved a bit quicker than we have now. And not to say that things haven't gone very well. It's always a case of you always want to strive for more, and I would say that's the only thing I can think of that I wish I had started when I was 20.
That's great, man. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Really appreciate you having me on the show, and good luck with your future interviews, and it's been a real pleasure talking to you.